Welcome in, guys. This is another Saturday night experience in conversation. And today I'm super excited to bring to you some chat with the man, Abacus.
Hey, how's it going, mate?
Access, Austin
Bascom. Yes, sir.
So yeah, we're in Toronto. We're in the midst of the S&E GoodBeat Weekender. I'm in a hut in the back. That's probably where I belong, to be honest. It's killing it over there. But we just need some silence. There's
Exactly.
some banging tunes on the other side. But I thought while I'm in Toronto, let's catch up with some people. So we've got a couple of these, hopefully. We are running a little bit late, but you know, we've got Austin in the building. So let's carry on. So thanks, Austin, for agreeing to do this.
You're welcome, mate.
I have to say, from your when I fall in love all the way through to the prescription business.
Yeah, man.
I've been proper on your story for today, and this is just interviewing a legend.
Let's get the story out.
Nice, yeah. Nice. So tell us, I didn't even know you were English.
Yeah.
Madness.
So I know, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So yeah. You know, when Thatcher came in, we moved. That was it. Bottom line.
You know what?
I was like, nope, not happening.
No more conservatives. I'm really hoping in the next 6 months we leave them for a little while.
Right. It was like that.
But yeah,
Seriously.
so I mean, you escaped at the right time, I think.
Yeah. My parents really instrumental in that. And, you know, there's a lot of trouble and grief in like the East End in those days, like being a young guy like myself, you know, trouble's always around the corner.
Yeah.
So, you know, my parents were just like, yeah, time to move, and it works out.
Okay.
Lovely country, Canada.
When you when did you move to Canada?
We came here in '83. I was 15. Had my 15th.
Okay. So what do you remember? What do you remember of England?
Oh wow.
At this time. So this would have been the early '80s, right?
Would have been the early '80s. So you know, blues parties, as we mentioned before. We had something called the BRA Disco, which was just a little community around the corner, and Froggy used to play. I don't know if you know.
Right, I know Froggy. Yeah, I live in Manor Park at the moment.
Right.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. So he used to play. So you know, as a young lad, we would skip school and go down.
Yeah.
And see him play. Then we had the afternoon discos, Studs, 100 Club. Yeah. Like, you know, all those kinds of things. A lot of jazz fun, soul boy business. You know.
Nice.
Right. So yeah. That's my roots growing up.
Wicked. And then so basically then you moved to Canada. So this is high school, college.
Yeah,
Canada,
I did my last 2 years of high school here. I think that's grade 12 and 13.
Yeah.
And then went on to college after that. And you know, was still in music, but not making it. Didn't really have that kind of impetus, right? Was fascinated by it though, you know.
So I've learned a bit since I've been hanging out with the Toronto crew, like about all the warehouse parties and everything that was going on, and the after hours scene.
Yeah.
So I guess as you were coming of age, was that something you were doing?
Actually, I was throwing them. I think around 1990, myself and an ex-girlfriend. And her best friend, we decided to throw some parties. She had a loft, short on rent 1 month, and we bought some booze. Told some people to come by, and we made about $800. Paid her rent.
Amazing.
And then we decided to do it maybe 2 months later. And this is when Toronto was very different. This area was known as the fashion district. So there was like warehouses all over the place, slumlords. Yeah. Decided to give them some money, say doing a video shoot, put some equipment there. Yeah. We had 2 months, we could have 4 parties. Yeah. And that's how it basically worked. And it started off small, but within like 6 months, we went from 200 people to around 800 to 1,000.
Right, okay.
$10 to get in, $10 for a beer.
You know,
it was nice.
I swear to God, if I was a little bit older, I just I know like I missed all of this.
Right.
By the time I was, it was all like a beef for a ministry. So I'm just a little bit too not quite there. Right. But so and you know, I mean, we got Ty Solomon DJing and stuff. So they also had the warehouse parties.
That's right.
So this was. I mean, I'm staying just over there now, which Dan Heckle, but this was all wasteland, right?
Yeah. There was nothing here. Like I mean, right by King and Spadina is where we got one of our first spaces, and literally it was the fashion district. Yeah. And what that meant is that a slumlord would have like a sweatshop in there. Like, if you're making whatever, sweatshop will operate. And police came, shut it down.
It reminds me a bit of what Stratford would have been, and
absolutely.
And basically the Hackney Wick kind of side of things.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's around the corner for me.
So you're going to the party, you're throwing parties. Right. Is this when the guidance stuff started happening?
No. This is like the really early 90s.
Yeah.
So I say the guidance stuff kind of started around, I'll say like maybe 96, 97.
Yeah.
And what had happened was that I had known the Detroit guys for a minute. I knew Shay really well.
Yeah.
And when he was performing in New York, I used to just go down and hang out with him and Kai and whoever else was there.
Yeah.
I remember I was making music, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was anything proper. You know what I mean? More like just experimental stuff. I had a cassette, and then I left it with Shay, and then around 2 years later, he gave me a call, said, hey, I put out that something you got on the cassette. I said, what's that? Right. It was the Relics, right?
Yeah.
And that's when it started, and then as soon as that came out, then Rob from Guidance called me.
Right,
and it's like, listen, if you got any other stuff, like, you know, let me know. And I had some.
So this is interesting because you're in Canada, but
correct.
all these Chicago people are like tapping you.
Yeah,
right?
but I was hanging out in Detroit, Chicago a lot.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? I met Derek in the maybe the late 80s.
Yeah. And
I got a chance to go to Detroit and saw his setup, and I was blown away by what I saw. There's all these boxes on the ground, press the button, all this music.
Yeah. I remember I copped. One of the first things I think I copped from you was the guidance. Is it the Charlie Black?
Charlie Brown. Me and Nigel. Yeah.
Nigel Hayes.
Nigel Hayes, another instrumental fellow.
Yeah.
Where I am today.
So I think, I mean, you can't really get guidance anymore. You have to buy it all secondhand. There's no digital catalogue, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So many jams on that label.
Well, first of all my back catalogue I'll be putting on my Bandcamp in about a week or so you'll be able to get it there. But I mean, I don't really know the reason why, but you know, I think there's a few people that are disappointed in that you can't get guidance stuff now or where they are. Like, you know,
you mean if you're thinking about that whole, you've got like stuff from Glenn, you've got stuff on Boom.
Everybody.
Right?
Everybody. Like, you know, they really helped build careers, and you know, they had a great label.
Yeah. And then obviously, so you put some stuff out on that label, and then obviously Prescription as well.
Yeah.
So, and you know, one of my favourite things I think is probably the Therapy EP.
Okay, nice.
Yes. He's got bits from everybody on. You've got, is it Come On?
Come On.
Yeah.
It's on there. I think Joshua's on that one. Is
it? Joshua.
And I think Ron and Shay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Come On. Another cassette thing that handed to Shay and then came out a few years later.
Right. Okay. So talk to me about. So you've obviously got all these records coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is like the mid-90s, right? So it's all going mental. Super DJs, everything. This is the thing.
Right.
So what were you DJing a lot, or what was the vibe?
No, I wasn't DJing so much, but I was really into production. So you know, of course, I wanted to do house, but then there was other things I was kind of involved in as well. There was a girl out here called Estero. Kind of like a trip hop kind of vibe, kind of Yorkish, and a friend of mine.
I think I remember that. It was a giant. It was on Giant stuff.
No, it was on the work group, a division of Sony out in LA.
Right.
So,
okay.
cut long story short, the deal was shopped everywhere here. Everybody passed. Went to the States, got a deal with Sony.
Yeah.
Came back, brokered the deal against all these other deals. So it was a big thing at the time, and I was actually the programmer for that record and did all the beats and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And she wrote the songs along with her partner Martin McKinney, who was like the executive producer of the project. So just working in other types of tempos really helped me as well during that time, as well as doing house. Like,
No, I think it was from what I remember. You know, with all the acid jazz stuff coming out, you know, and again, the giant set thing had a massive effect on me in terms of just understanding. You know, you've got the deep mixes, but then you had the other stuff that was coming out, the more Latin.
That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And for me,
big influence for me too.
Yeah. I mean,
and in fact, it was UK too. Like, you know,
exactly. So what's so? I mean, again, you've kind of had some time off.
Yeah.
So what happened?
You know, just life, innit? Like, you know, gotta earn.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I do woodworking these days. Like, you know, so I'm pretty handy with a hammer. So I kind of enjoy that.
So furniture?
No, actually. So I do structures like this: cabanas, decks, fences.
Oh, right, okay.
Full renos.
You should come to my house and build me a mansion.
Yeah, but nice little tiny home. Like, you know.
No, I get you. Right. But you've started doing music again now, so you've had a couple of. I noticed you've had a couple of things out on Kai's label.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, what else is coming up?
Okay, so Kai and Shay have been instrumental in me, continuing doing music. Just over the years, I've always had the computer and messed around with something that doesn't really sound how you want it to, but I'll just hand it to Kai. Kai's like, oh, I'll have that. I'll have that. And then a couple of years ago, we did the same thing. Says, okay, I'd like to put out these two, and maybe we should talk about funding the label for you. You got a lot of stuff. So then I spoke with Shay, and he's like, yeah, you got a lot of stuff. Let's just do it. You should do it. And so that's how it kind of came about. So in that meantime,
what's the label going to be called?
Rethink.
Rethink. Okay.
Yeah, actually, it was up before.
Yeah,
but now we're relaunching it. Yeah.
Okay, that was the Africa Hi-Fi stuff, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Right. I think did well, but this is at the turn of vinyl. So we're pressing like 4,000 or 5,000, getting 3,000 return.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Just different days.
Yeah.
But now 1,000 is a good unit to start with. I feel like I move 1,000.
I'm about to do 300.
Right. Well, it's in the average about 1,000.
Yeah.
I do
for sure.
So yeah. I think that's a good
and
one.
this is going to be it's going to be a vinyl label, right?
Going to be a vinyl label, yeah. With the digital Bandcamp as well too.
Yeah. No, I think it's the way forward. I mean, vinyl right now is super expensive.
I think. Well,
but I would say, just doing digital, you get lost.
I think so, man.
And I love the taking it off the shelf and just having it.
That's right.
It's a legacy item, right?
Something physical. Physical, I think, is important. Plus, I think the way that we get music now, say from digital stream or whatever, I think that's kind of finished. I think there's something around the corner. What it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think there's got to be something a little bit more beneficial for the artist, and so people don't share it so easy. Not that I'm against sharing, but should be something remunerated every time it's copied.
Yeah, I feel like what's happening right now is because everyone's trying to stay relevant. They're making a lot of music.
Yes.
And whereas you would maybe have an EP of like 4 tunes,
right?
Now every week you're getting 1 tune, which would then be the EP over the course of the month.
Exactly.
But it's really difficult to keep up with everything, and I think it's super. I do struggle. I work on like label basis,
right?
Producer basis. But even then, you're still gonna miss stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's mad. Like the digital. I mean, I play digital. You have to play digital now because you can't get everything.
Right. It's expensive to get everything.
It's definitely expensive to get everything. But it is quite an interesting. I do like Bandcamp.
Okay.
And I like the way that you could, I've got a couple of subscriptions, so you could get like stuff from Fred P, you can get stuff from Matt Jazz.
I love that guy. I think he's amazing.
Fred P.
Yeah, he spoke to you about his subscription before it happened. I was like, that's the way forward.
Yeah.
I mean, his output is really high.
If you like a producer, it's a no-brainer, right?
Exactly.
Also, I think I have Oka. And again, it's like $5.
Yeah.
It's just like you get over the course of the month, you get a couple of tunes.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect.
Okay. And then in terms, so obviously more music. Are you still interested in DJing?
Absolutely. So I'm feeling like 2025 September.
Okay.
I think it'd be nice if we can organise a tour of some sort for then.
Yeah.
Right now, I want the music to really dictate everything.
Yeah.
So I think by releasing, my goal is to get 1 12-inch out every couple of months.
Right.
Up until next year September. So if we can accomplish that, I think there'll be some type of tour happening.
And do you and when obviously living in Toronto, do you check out DJs? Do you go out a little bit?
Okay. In the last year, so HFX, right? Haf?
I don't actually.
Okay, well, he's one of the promoters that Sounds Good, and he's a great guy, great promoter in general.
I know Sounds Good. I didn't know that.
I've been to a couple of his parties that Sounds Good, and also at Standard Time.
Yeah.
And whenever Kai comes in town, I definitely will come and see Kai. If I know them personally, I'll be like, I'm going to come out. Okay. Drag myself out.
Yeah.
Okay. Strap a pillow.
And how would you
in the car.
How would you measure the Toronto scene against, I don't know, some of the other cities that you? It seems pretty fruitful, right? I joke that Toronto probably has the most DJ square foot. That I know.
You're right though. You're absolutely right. Most DJs per square foot, most live events per square foot. Any given night of the week, there's a live event going on here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's like, you know, commercial or a little bit more underground.
Yeah.
Toronto has really got it going on. So, you know, hopefully, like, people just get together and it keeps on building. You know what I mean? Like, you know, same thing as always.
It's the first time I've ever been here, and I have to admit, it's nice.
Popping.
You know, it's popping. It's popping. You know, just being able to, you know, people that I've met over the last 3 years, you know, it's been life changing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah. Toronto is great. I mean, and also what I should say, like, since I started going back out, it's amazing. Like, sounds good. It's the best sound system I've heard in decades. Like, you know what I mean? And that seems to be a big impetus in Toronto right now.
Yeah.
There's a few venues that have really gone for the sound.
Yeah.
More so than the environment or who they're going to bring in.
Yeah.
Sound first. So I think that's really a throwback to, like, you know, the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot more kind of vinyl bars and
absolutely.
kind of system.
I mean, it's kind of crucial.
Yeah.
It's crucial right now. Like, you know, so we'll see. The future looks pretty good.
Okay.
You know?
And then one last question. Have you got any tips around what's the thing that, from a Toronto perspective, that you think people should know about?
About me?
Or about anything? Just
I don't know.
Inside of you.
Just be passionate about what it is you do. You know, that's it. Just have some passion for it, and it will show. Like, that's all that you really need. Like, you know, nothing else really. Just some passion.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Austin, for spending some time with us.
No worries,
I hope you've guys. I hope you've enjoyed the interview.
Absolutely.
We'll be back soon.
Okay.
And
Saturday Night Live experience, man.